good.
Our time right now is 6 o'clock. Still a developing story out of London is topping our news. Former Beatle George Harrison stabbed by an intruder who broke into his home. Now, he's hospitalized in stable condition after being stabbed in the chest early this morning. There is late word that the singer is resting comfortably and recovering well. We saw that from a press conference that we aired earlier at the hospital. Now, the wounds are not life-threatening. Police say the intruder broke into Harrison's mansion and attacked the 56-year-old musician and his wife shortly before dawn. A spokesman says Olivia Harrison was hit over the head, but she's okay, and she's at her husband's side. Police are now questioning a 33-year-old Liverpool man as a suspect. Today's attack comes 19 years after the fatal shooting of John Lennon outside his New York City home. We're going to have more on this story coming up for you at about 6:30 this morning.
Top story, doctors are monitoring the condition of former Beatle George Harrison this morning. This after he was stabbed repeatedly and his wife also attacked in their central England home. ABC 7's Kevin Roy joins us from the newsroom with the latest. Kevin?
Well, Jose, doctors have just updated George Harrison's condition. They say he is stable and is recovering well from his wounds, even though he was stabbed 4 times in his chest. George Harrison is best known, of course, for his days with the Fab Four. The stabbing took place before dawn this morning when an intruder broke into his palatial estate 25 miles west of London. British police confirm Harrison, who is 56, and his wife Olivia were both stabbed. Harrison reportedly several times in the chest, and his wife was hit over the head. The two were apparently able to subdue the man until police arrived. The suspect is said to be a 33-year-old man from Liverpool, where the Beatles got their start. It is not known yet whether the musician may possibly know his attacker. It is also unclear how the intruder got on the grounds of the Harrison mansion, which is said to be walled with tight security. Harrison is being treated at the Royal Berkshire Hospital in London, where doctors just held a news conference to discuss his current condition.
And he's stable. Since he's been in a hospital bed, he's been getting much better, and he's comfortable. Generally, they're very happy, and as I said a moment ago, concerned to let you know and the world know that they are recovering well and comfortable. They're keen now to try and get some sleep and some privacy.
Now, today's stabbing comes 1 year after Paul McCartney's wife, Linda, died from cancer, and 19 years ago this month, John Lennon was shot outside his New York apartment. Police are not sure yet if this invasion might have been the work of an obsessed fan, like Lennon's assassination, or a botched robbery. Again, though, Harrison and his wife are said to be recovering well in a London hospital this morning. Live from the newsroom, Kevin Roy, ABC 7 News. Jose?
All right, Kevin, thank you.
Former Beatle George Harrison is attacked. Federal emergency officials kick into high Y2K gear and a new report on the 1993 Waco standoff.
This is Headline News. First Watch with Linda Stover.
Good morning. Thank you for being with us today. Our top story at this half hour, the chief executive of a British hospital says George Harrison wants the world to know he's recovering well after being attacked in his home early this morning. A spokesman for the former Beatles says an intruder broke into Harrison's estate in central England. Harrison reportedly was stabbed several times in the chest. The spokesman says Harrison and his wife Olivia were able to subdue the intruder until police arrived. The 56-year-old musician is listed in stable condition at a hospital in Reading. Harrison's wife is at his side. She sustained a few superficial wounds in the incident, and she did not have to be admitted.
Mr. Harrison also suffered some superficial injury, and there was a stab wound to his chest. Now, that was treated conventionally by putting a chest drain in, and he's stable. Since he's been in a hospital bed, he's been getting much better, and he's comfortable.
British authorities are questioning a 33-year-old man from Liverpool in connection with the attack. A Harrison spokesman says it is not clear if the Harrisons knew the man or not. And of course, we'll continue to track this story. You can stay tuned to CNN Headline News for the very latest on the stabbing of George Harrison.
And good morning, everyone. There is, as Charlie mentioned, shocking news from London this morning. Former Beatle George Harrison is in a hospital after being stabbed by an assailant several times in the chest. A man from Liverpool is being questioned by police. He allegedly broke into Harrison's home and attacked the ex-Beatle and his wife Olivia. Hospital officials say the wounds are not life-threatening.
They would like you to know that they are doing fine, they're comfortable, they're deeply appreciative of all the thanks and concern that's been expressed around the world already.
The hospital says Harrison could be released within a couple of days.
Now more on the stabbing of former Beatle George Harrison overnight at his home outside of London. As we've been reporting, he and his wife struggled with an intruder, and Harrison, 56, is now being treated for wounds to his chest. His injuries, however, are not life-threatening. NBC's Jim Maceda is outside the Harrison home in Henley-on-Thames, where the attack took place. And later today's Jody Applegate is in London this morning. Good morning to both of you. Jim, let's start with you if we could. Just review, since many people might have missed the top of the program, exactly what happened.
Well, between 3:15 and 3:30 a.m. London time, there was an intruder who broke into this impressive mansion here with very good security, I might add, but still managed to penetrate that security, the alarms, the lights, what have you. Broke into the Harrison mansion. There was a struggle that ensued between George Harrison and the intruder. George Harrison sustained one. We repeated earlier that it was 4, but it was 1 chest wound. The intruder sustained serious skull wounds. And Olivia, George Harrison's wife, also sustained minor wounds. All 3 were rushed to the hospital about a half an hour or so later. We understand that George Harrison now is in stable, even comfortable condition. Olivia, who only had minor wounds, is at his side, and the intruder has been released from hospital and is now in a local police station here undergoing investigation, undergoing interrogation.
And Jim, what do we know about this intruder, if anything?
Well, we know he's 33 years old. We know that he is from Liverpool, so there may be a connection there. But the police are being very, very tight-lipped so far about whether he is in fact a stalker, whether he is a crazed fan, whether this was simply a random breaking and entering. That kind of information, I believe, will come out in the course of the day.
All right, Jim Maceda, thanks. Jody Applegate, I know that you're in London preparing for the big Millennium festivities that will be taking place there. What's been the reaction to this pretty shocking event?